We're here with Kkylecooke. Kick it off, man. What's your favorite objection handle? I'm
um,
joking, bro. We're not here fucking chat shit about that. Yeah, bro. Thanks for joining me today. First of all, I mean,
no
I'm
problem.
excited to chat. Obviously, we've known each other a while now, and I think that's very important to kick it off. Is a lot of people watching probably know you,
Mhm,
or they know me.
mhm.
I don't feel like we share too much of an audience, especially with your background.
Yeah.
So, do you remember how we met?
I do, I do. It was in one of the sales training communities that we were in. I was looking to do a mock call, a role play, and you jumped on. And I remember after that role play, I was just like, "What is this guy on?" Like, I actually like, I don't know. I just
I
came
wasn't
off.
on any drugs.
I came off that role play and I was like, "Damn, this guy's unreal."
What about my sales ability?
I mean, it was all right.
Fuck's sake. But yeah, I think like from the second we met, I thought we were very similar in the sense of like we both were super driven, but we were also like we just don't take life that seriously,
No,
right?
no.
And I feel like that was why we gelled so well together, and why obviously even now we're still so close, even though we don't work together. We're not really in any of the same communities other than mine, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that's super interesting. And that was one thing I wanted to ask you about was a lot of people say that online friends can't be as strong of a friendship as say like real life friends. Do you agree with that statement?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, like the best friends that I have now, I've all met them online. It's the same with obviously, Theo. We've lived together for the last like 13, 14 months. We met online. We met from a mock call as well. You know what I mean? Um, all my friends back home, we'd speak every maybe like 6 months. And it's the same as when we spoke, 6 months ago, but
Yeah.
there's not that like real camaraderie ship or like that real understanding of each other as online, because when you meet people online, you meet them in like communities, right? And it's like you guys have similar interests, like as do
Mm.
we. So I think that it's actually the opposite way around, in my opinion.
So you think that having online friends are a lot of times stronger than in person
Yeah,
friends?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I almost disagree with that statement because I think it's situational, right? Is I think if you meet someone, like I have friends from car sales and stuff that I'd say are as strong as some of my online friends because we have the same industry,
hmm
right? Whereas like a lot of the friends that you have in school, I mean, it's a limited pool,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
in the communities you're in, there's 300 people. You can pick who
yeah,
you're friends with.
yeah.
Whereas like when you're in school, there's only fucking 20 guys your age, so
hmm
you're kind of forced into a friend group, and
hmm
that can only survive so long, I think.
I agree, because I think I apart from school, I never really went out and did anything. I was just the guy locked in my room training, trying to become a professional footballer. So I didn't really make many friends from school. But I think that kind of group that you're talking about there, in terms of, you're kind of put into a group, right, in
Mm,
school. I've only got like one friend back home in Ireland
mm.
that's not from the online space. And like that's one of the guys that was in that group, but me and him just like clicked on a different level. Um, so I mean, if I didn't have online friends, bro, I'd be a bit of a loner.
Yeah, and again, right, is because like I don't want to get in too much into your background or your story that you don't want to get into, right? But obviously, you became pretty famous, right? Like,
I wouldn't say that now.
but I would, right?
Yeah.
Because and I remember, and I'll tell the story of when we first met. We met in Sevilla, right?
Yep.
And you came to dinner with us, and you
hmm
said, "Sorry, I was late, lad. Some guy asked me to stop me for a photo."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know you don't think of yourself as famous, but to me or Fraser, who was my friend we were with, that's fucking insane.
Mm. It
Like,
was.
now I post content.
Yeah.
I ain't been stopped for a photo. I've been posting a year now, so I'm still waiting to get stopped. So I would argue that you were famous.
Yeah, I think though, in the online like space, like online kind of like influencer space, we don't like when I was an influencer per se, like influencers, they don't really like to be called influencers. And like
Mm.
being called famous is like another level past like influencers. I don't know, I think that I was well known. That's
But
what I would call
I
myself.
feel like that's a bit of cope, right? Because that's comparing yourself. Like when you think of famous, what do you like? What does famous mean?
Somebody who's like known around the world, like all around the world. But I haven't
Okay, so
experienced
you
that
went
though.
to Spain and someone recognized you. Would you say that's being known around the world?
One person
But
recognized
one person.
me.
So then how do you quantify it,
But I
right?
think that I can't judge it like that, because I never went to the States, never went to Canada, never went to fucking Australia.
But my point would be that I think like what I'm trying to get at, right, is you were obviously famous,
Mm,
and I want to get to the impact that had, right? because a lot of people want to post content.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guilty of this. My entire life I've wanted to post content, and
Yeah.
now I am. But it took me years to get to it. And when I did, I never realized how shit it actually is. Like, it's great, and obviously I'm filming this, and it's my job, and I'm blessed that I'm able to just sit on a fucking podcast on a Thursday and chat shit,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, there's so much negatives that come along with that.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's like for you, but the hate comments fucking kill me.
It's crazy. When I was in the height of it as well, and like I had, you know, nearly 800K across like all social media platforms. It was tough at times because, especially from where I was from, like in Ireland, I'm sure Scotland is the same.
Exactly.
It's super small minded. So I remember like some nights I'd go out, you know, on a Saturday night for a few drinks with the lads, whatever it may be, and then you just always have to watch your back. Like you'd always have to watch your back, and like you just kind of know that like when you see somebody and like they're just like death staring you, it's like, all right, let's move on, lads, to a different pub. But I remember when I was in the height of it, like I did have to kind of watch my back, and it was a little bit I couldn't really fully enjoy myself when I was going out drinking and partying. But like you said, there are a lot of positives. But yeah, that when you do get to a point where like, well, the hate comments start from the beginning.
Oh,
they
like
do.
I had like 500 followers, and I was getting hate comments.
Yeah,
they come before the positive ones.
100%. Like something that I've always said to myself, and I might have said it to you as well. It's like who do you know that's doing better than you that's commented hate? I don't know anybody.
Yeah, and I get that, right? But I'm a big believer in like it's very easy to say things like that. Like it's very easy to say like, oh, just look at it this way.
Yeah.
But like for me especially, because it was never something I had in my life, is when like this guy doesn't even know me.
Yeah.
He's like, look at this fucking scammer. It's like, bro, if you actually met me for a pint, you'd be like, this guy's all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like he's just a normal guy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that assumption.
It is.
And it's like you almost want to argue with them.
Yes.
But that's the worst thing.
100%. I got one the other day, and I wanted to do the exact same thing. I wanted to argue with them. And like I won't lie, like even if I get a hate comment now, and man, I've been doing social media for like 5-6 years, right? Obviously in different kind of like I was football, now I'm sales, whatever it may be. But like even now, sometimes like there could be the odd comment that like does hit me a little bit. And it actually happened like probably like last week. I went into Theo. I was like, Theo, I've been doing this shit for so many fucking years. I just got a hate comment, and like I'm stressing over it. I'm like, what is going on?
What was the comment? I'm interested.
I can't remember. I don't know.
See, I remember all mine.
Yeah.
I know the one that's left yesterday, last week.
Remember the usernames as well.
There's a guy called Gaz Jones. I hope you're watching this. He commented something about like, "Oh, you're such a loser." But his like top comment was him in his first photo was him in a hot tub. It was like living the hot tub lifestyle.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, if Gaz Jones is watching this, we're getting you on the potty next.
You're obviously very new to like social media, to getting hate comments and stuff. Like how do you deal with it right now?
I don't really, to be honest. I kind of just like firm it.
Really?
Like obviously, like Scott will know, and like the guys behind my content team will know. But see, when we first started, fucking used to kill me. I wouldn't film for like a week if I got a hate comment. We'd be relying on posting memes. Like I'd be like, nah, I'm out the game. But now now we obviously have a much bigger team, right? And I do it. Now I guess it's a thing where I do it because the other guys need me to. Like we run a business off my social media. If I don't post, none of us make any money.
Yeah.
So I kind of do it. Like I just see it as a job now.
Yeah.
But like then again, it's crazy because people like comment on your social media stuff. But I'd be like if I was still in car sales, some guy came up to me and just like while I'm on the forecourt selling cars, like, you're a loser. Like,
would they?
Fuck. No, but that's the example.
Oh,
that's what hate comments are like.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird thing. And I think people take it for granted a little bit. But that's not to say, because I can already see the comments, oh, it's such a hard life doing social media. Like, don't get me wrong, fucking piece of piss. You make a shit ton of money and you do basically fuck all.
Yeah.
But there is that mental side of it, which I imagine is what puts a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And almost put me off.
Yeah.
But
100%. And it's like social media like opened up so many doors. Like so many doors for me.
Yeah.
And it's like if I had let that affect me, I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had. Like, bro, I did an ad for Pepsi. Like Pepsi, bro. Like they're a huge, huge
that is
company.
crazy.
Like they're a huge company. And I think it just goes like for people in general, like
Mm.
not even just social media. A lot of people, they get held back by the opinions of other people or the potentiality of like getting hate comments and stuff like that. And it's just like if I had let that happen to me, I would have missed out on so many different things.
But that's true with everything, right? And obviously, we're both in sales now, so I'll tie it in a little bit to sales. But that's the majority of reasons why people never change their life.
Yeah.
And that's why half of them are on the call half the time.
Yeah.
Is because they've been allowed, well, they've not been allowed, they've let other people, what other people think or the actions the people around them take to dictate where their lives go.
Mm.
And that's pretty natural.
Yeah.
Like,
it is.
I feel like you have to be a type of person or surrounded by the right people to even make it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many people do you know that are so just in the pits from when
Yeah.
you were there, right?
Yeah, a lot. And I think like just being in sales and being on so many sales calls, that so many people's like mentality is so flawed. It's so flawed. And I think that for a lot of people though, like it's not their fault that they have it, but it is their fault that they haven't changed it. Because a lot of times people grow up in a certain like environment, right? I'm very blessed. I grew up in an environment where my mom, my family always told me that I can do whatever I want. So I truly believe that right now, right? But there are a lot of people, and I even got it from one particular family member, who like I was actually in a white BMW SUV, right? And it was a rented one. Like the particular family member rented it, and I said, "Oh, I wanna own one of these when I'm older." And he's like, "No, you're not. no, you're not. What are you on about?" And when I went to Marbella, that's actually the exact car that I was driving around for the week or so that I was there. But like, just going back to the point that we were making, I think that a lot of people grow up with different beliefs based on what people around them instill into them.
Yeah, and I feel like you obviously touched on people. It's people's fault for not changing it.
Mhm.
But if you never know that it's even there to be changed, like I feel like if I'd never got into sales, or I guess it was kind of different. I always kind of had a pretty good mindset when I look back, but like the average person, they don't realize they have a problem.
Mhm.
Like that's the way everyone around you thinks.
Yeah.
Like if every single person in this room right now believed the sky was blue, and you believed it was green, and you're like, nah, guys, it's green. We'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you talk about when you alienate everybody around you.
Mhm.
Is when you're talking about, oh man, I'm gonna buy this. Fuck you talking about.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy it while we have it for the day or two that we ran it, that we saved for 6 weeks.
Yeah. 100%.
And when you limit yourself, like, you will just get that result.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I even look at my friends and family and the people around me, and like them kind of like seeing what I've done. And same in sales calls as well, right? Like when you actually like get people to like realize it from like a different perspective and like change their mentality and stuff. I'm talking about more so like those people who like see a different path, who see a different life, who like see a different mentality, but still choose to stay in the mentality that they've actually been in. You know what I mean? Because bro, I'd
Yeah.
love for my family to get started in what I'm doing, or do something, right, to be able to like better their life. Because I see like my family didn't grow up in struggle, and or my family didn't grow up in money, and so many other families haven't either. So it's like one thing for me as well is like I want to be able to like push them to do something, you know?
But why do you feel like that is? Like, why do you feel like they don't do anything? Because what I see a lot of is, and like I have this with my family, is like almost disbelief. And it's almost refusing to understand it so that then you don't have to do it. Because if you I just don't understand how he's done that, right?
Yeah.
It's fine that you don't do it.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think that could be it as well. I think from what I've seen, I think it's a lot of like just knowing, like just the knowing of like their everyday today life, like right now. Like they've just done it for so long, and that's just like normal, right? And
Yeah.
they're kind of like just doing that day after day after day without even like kind of like opening up their eyes to like look elsewhere and like look at what they can do. I think I actually don't know. I think it just comes down to like the habit.
I think it's the fear, right? It's the fear of the unknown.
Mm.
It's why not everybody got on a boat and went to see what was across the water from Europe, right?
Yeah.
That's why one man did it eventually.
Yeah.
It's to do something new, you need to be willing to take an ungodly amount of risk.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, for example, you joined a sales community, right? Quit your job, wasn't getting the result, then spent the rest of your savings on the exact same fucking thing, just by a different guy.
Yeah.
Right? Just to
Yeah.
try and find a route out.
Yeah.
And then that was what you've done ever since, right? Is any
100%.
risk that you've needed to take, you've taken.
Yeah. I remember when I invested into that community, I had 6.2k euro in my bank, and the community was 5k. I just piffed the full 5k. And I remember when I was talking to the closer and he said the investment, right, is 5k euro. I just sat there for a moment. I was like, fuck it, send the link.
And I think that's so interesting, right? Is because like now we're in pretty similar positions, right? We're
Mhm.
both doing well for ourselves, whatever. But when I joined, I came in with the opposite mindset.
Did you?
My game plan, I went on the lowest payment plan. I
Really?
paid, my plan was get in, get a job, and then just not pay the rest. I was like, fucking, that would be mint.
Really?
Look at my job. Like, I already thought I was the man at sales, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't fucking need sales training. What's
Mm.
that for? So my plan was to go in, buy on the lowest payment plan, get a job, and just fuck off.
Wow.
But then I joined and I realized the value of community. And I
Yeah.
also realized the value of, maybe not the sales training, but I realized the value of the community, and I realized the value of being around people who wanted more.
Yeah.
So I ended up paying it. I didn't just leave after one payment. Please don't do that with me. But yeah, I think it's super interesting because a lot of people are determined that the initial actions they take are the most important. But I disagree. It's the
Do you?
actions in the middle. Because like you joined, right? And it wasn't that decision that changed your life. It was the decision that you made 3-4 months later when you were making fucking no money and you stuck at it. You moved to Spain. Like that was the decision that actually changed everything. It wasn't that initial decision.
I disagree. Reason being is because when this was this was after I left football, right? And I left that dream, and I was working in a factory and stuff like that. And like mentally, I was like broken. Like mentally, like my confidence. Like, you think about it, right? Like since 13, I trained like 2 to 3 times every single day, and then I left football, and for a couple of years, I was just like so lost. Confidence was shattered, everything, and I felt like a failure. So me making that decision, and the reason why I paid in full when I had like such little in my bank account was I needed to get over that. I needed to get over that like bottleneck in my own mind that I can't like do shit, that I can't like become somebody, right? And what I wanted to do as well was it was like if I'm gonna be able to help my prospects in the best possible way and help somebody else who only has 6.2k in their bank pay in full 5k, I want to be able to do that myself and not give any objections and actually just fucking do it, but know what it feels like, but then just do it anyway, do it regardless. So
But
like when I'm
that's-
faced, go ahead.
But that comes from having the like, yeah, your confidence was shattered, right?
Yeah,
But you still had more confidence than the average person.
maybe, I don't know,
100%.
maybe.
Think about how many sales calls you've had, right? And think about how many of them wouldn't even object and would do it. And that's your
True.
average.
True. Yeah, actually.
Like, sure, your confidence wasn't what it once was,
Yeah.
right? But it was still way above what the average man's confidence
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
So I think you're looking at it with rose-tinted glasses. I do agree, right, that it was crucial.
Yeah.
But I would 100% say that if you'd done anything in your journey different, the thing that would move you the farthest away from where you are now would be the stuff you did in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want to talk about next.
Okay.
Is when you moved to Spain.
Yeah.
Because that was the pits.
Oh, it
to
was.
put it bluntly, it was the fucking pits.
It was. It was, man. It was crazy. Because I remember I was in sales for like, at this point, like 5 months, right?
And what's the most you made?
I think it was like 1.2k, something like that.
And that's USD too.
Yeah. And I was like looking around me, and there was guys who were in sales a lot less time than me, hitting 10k months. And I was like, what is going on here? Because I was putting in the work. Like I literally quit my job to like learn
I mean,
sales.
at that time, you were training with me all the time.
Yeah.
You were always active.
100%. And I was like, something has to change. And it's not the work ethic, right? Like I have the work ethic. So like, fuck it, let me just change my environment. Because at the time I was still living at home. And I obviously wanted to move out. Everybody does when they're like, I think at the time I was 21. Everybody wants to move out of home, right? So I was like, do you know what? I can afford a flight to Spain. I can afford 1 month in an Airbnb. I can't afford a flight back home. But let's just go and see what the fuck happens. Try and make it work. And I went over there. And it felt good for like a day. Then I was like, oh shit. I was like, what am I doing? Like I'm over here. I can't afford a flight home. All my money's on an Airbnb. I was like, what did I just do? So in Spain for breakfast, right? We lived off of toast and chocolate spread every single day for breakfast. And for dinner, we had plain pasta with a bit of pasta sauce, sometimes if we were lucky. That's all we had every single day, like every day. We wouldn't even buy bottled water from the shop. We'd get the water from the tap because we just thought it was a waste of money. And I remember like halfway through the month, like things just still weren't getting better. I don't know what would happen. I had to go over and like the next day everything would change. I don't know, but I was just in the pits. I remember sitting there by my desk, hands on my head, tears going down my eyes. Like I'm gonna have to go back home now. And like that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah. And I think, because I remember at that time, right, we would speak all the time. And I remember at that time, it wasn't, I think, you know why I think that was so instrumental for you? It was the fact that I think, and I suffered from this exact same thing for a long time. And I believe that a lot of successful men do, is I think for majority of your life, you almost had this belief that you'd always win and you'd never lose. And the times where you, like, when you're sat at your desk, right, in Spain and you're looking at your account and there's 37p in there and you ain't got a flight home, you're stuck in some shed Airbnb with some pasta.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, I might actually lose here. And that's when you decide either you just fucking call it quits and you go home.
Yeah.
Or you say, I ain't losing.
Yeah.
And you go and fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
I did. I remember I got an opportunity to go on an Australian offer, right? Now, the Australian times are very, very different to Spanish. But I was on a US offer as well. And I was like, I can't even afford a flight home. Like, let me just fucking do it because I've got nothing right now. Like, my back is against the wall. So what I'd do was I'd wake up at about 5:30 in the morning. I'd shower, get ready. First call at 6. I'd take sales calls on the Australian offer from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. I'd then take like an hour break. We'd have our team meeting for the US offer at 3 p.m. And then I'd go from 3 p.m. all the way up to midnight on the US offer. And then I'd take like an hour to kind of like just wind down, like relax and kind of like de-stress. Like not de-stress, but like, you know when you're taking sales calls, decompress, that's the word exactly. And then I'd be asleep at 1. So 4 hours sleep every night. And I'd done that for the last 2 weeks of the month. And it was October 2024. And I feel like that was like what really helped because then I finished up October on 2.6k USD. So with the boat offers,
big bucks.
Yeah, bro, at the time, at the time that was big bucks. Though.
You're getting cheese with your pasta and everything. You're fucking loving it.
Yeah. At the time it was the big bucks for me. So booked in another Airbnb for November. Fuck it, I've got enough money now. Let's just go again, go one more. But I think that 2 weeks was hell, bro. Like it was hell. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't seeing like fresh air really, apart from if I got like a no-show or something. But that was a tough 2 weeks. But I think it was really, really pivotal because my back was against the wall. I had nothing to lose, right? It's either
you also had no option really.
Yeah, bro.
Like
I had
either
no option.
You lost or you were homeless in Spain.
Exactly. So yeah, my back was against the wall. I was like, let me just do it.
Yeah, and do you think it's because I've debated this with a few people, right? Do you think it's a good idea to do that, to go all in? Because some people do break, right? And
Yeah.
like, let's say that wasn't Kkylecooke that moved there. Let's say, sorry to use him as an example, but that Rowan Solana went out there and he ends up homeless.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying that happened,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like, do you think it's always a good idea to just risk it all?
That's a really good question. That's a really
Just
good
do this
question.
for a living.
No. I don't think so. Because truthfully, I don't think everybody's cut out for it. I think that it takes a lot of mental resilience to go and do something like that. And I feel like the reason why I was like I did it, and I feel like the reason why I was good to do that was because I'd already faced a huge level of failure in my life. So like failure wasn't something that was new to me, and it was like, okay, if I go out there, like I'm gonna give it everything to make it work. But if it doesn't, we'll just go home and go again.
And do you feel like because of that failure that came with professional football, do you feel like that chip on your shoulder too? Because I know that
Yes.
exists, right?
Bro, yes.
Do you feel like that played a factor into why you won and why you did it?
Oh yeah, bro. I remember when I left football, nobody spoke to me for like 2 weeks. Nobody spoke to me for like 2 weeks, bro. Um, so I 100% definitely had a chip on my shoulder from that.
Do you think you still do?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think you'll ever get rid of it?
I think when I'm driving around in a Aston Martin or a Lamborghini or something like that, I won't. But until then, until like I've properly made it.
Why though? Because was the football all about the money for you? Like, was that why you did it?
No, I think the chip on the shoulder is more so like achieving what I set out to achieve from football. Just like obviously in a different industry, right? Like achieving that level of like success, that
Yeah.
level of wealth, that level of
Okay.
comfortability, and providing that for my family as well. Because growing up, when you want to become a professional footballer, you always tell people, you're like, you know, your parents and people around you,
Yeah.
oh, like I'm going to retire you and stuff. So like, it's not about the money, but it's more so about like what comes from the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the wealth. It's not
Yes,
the dollars in the bank, but it's the wealth of what it
exactly,
allows you to do.
exactly.
That makes sense. And obviously now, right? Because you're going through an interesting transition where you're going to managing people,
Hmm.
right? But you're very young.
Hmm.
We both are,
Hmm.
as much as they laugh at that.
Yeah.
We are young, right? How do you find managing people and maintaining frame over people, even though you are quite inexperienced, right?
Yeah.
As we both are, because we've only
Yeah.
been on the planet 22
100%.
years.
Yeah. That's a really good question, and I think it comes with. I remember like the first meetings that I have with every team that I manage. I'm a bit of a dick. I'm just a bit because
So
like
just like usual. Then.
because that's like the initial like thought process that like the sales reps need to have a little bit like, whoa, I'm not gonna mess with this guy. Like this guy's, not even sure if I like him. But then as the meetings go on, it's about like actually building a connection with them. So the second thing I do is I have a one-to-one with them, right? And I'm actually like going through their goals and connecting with them and talking to them about their story, about my story, and like just having that little bit of a connection. So I think it's about having a good relationship with the closer setters that you're managing, but also like them understanding like, hey, I'm not gonna like mess with this guy because he's like he will make a decision to cut me if I cross a boundary or something. I got even one of the teams I manage right now, like the setters and closers on there, like I know that like they are so good, and like I know that if I told them to do 14, 15 hours tomorrow, they'd do it without any questions. You know.
Okay, interesting. And I want to come back to Spain because there was actually one thing that I missed out there. Is obviously going out there, right? Going all in, having no option, and then obviously the chip on your shoulder was important too. How important was having Theo there?
Oh
Because obviously you lived with him, and
yeah.
I'm sure Theo won't mind me saying this. It wasn't like you were just in the pit. You were both in
Yes.
the pits of the pits of the pits.
Yes.
And how important was having that, I want to say brotherhood there and having someone else with you?
Yeah, man. It was so important. Like so important.
Before you answer, let me ask you this. Do you think you would have got the same result if you'd moved there yourself?
Yeah. I
It
just
can't have
think
been that important.
no.
I'm
He was important in the sense of like keeping me mentally like in check, mentally kind of like stable in a sense. I do think I would have like done it over there myself, but I just would have been in a lot more of like a wreck, I want to say.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's really interesting about you because it's not very salesperson like. You're a pretty emotional guy,
I am.
right?
Yeah.
Whereas like I'm very much the opposite.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a huge factor into your success is because the emotional sides of sales, you're for sure better than me, right? Because I just don't I'm like, fuck you crying for, bro? Like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
Whereas you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout your career, right, of being in sales, going through football, do you feel like you've got better at that, or do you feel like it's still something you struggle with a little bit?
The emotional
Yeah.
side. Yeah, it's still something I struggle with. 100%. It is. I think growing up, like my dad lived abroad, right? So like I never actually grew up in a household with somebody there to like toughen me up a little bit, right? I grew up in a very like kind of feminine environment in terms of my little sister was there, my mum was there, and as a kid, like we lived in a mobile home until I was 12, right? So that was obviously a lot of stress and a lot of like my mum went through like so much emotions from going through that, right? So I think seeing that is probably like how I've like been, I don't know, been built in a sense. Now, obviously, I need to change it. I do. I'm not in any rush to do so just
But
yet.
I don't even know if you do, right? Because I there's pros and cons to both
Yeah.
sides. Like, I come from the opposite, right? Like,
Yeah.
I was incredibly blessed. I grew up with both my mum and my dad. They're still together to this day. My dad's like, never seen my dad cry. When his dad died, didn't even seem like he gave a fuck. I'm sure he did, right? But he would never show that to me.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the way that I perceive normal in being a man.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, it probably has more of a negative impact than being an emotional person has. Because I can neglect that a little bit, especially in management sometimes.
Yeah.
I know I'm a bit of a prick, and I should probably be a bit nicer, and I should
Okay.
probably actually think about things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for me, it's done me so many favors because I'm just fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting balance, I feel, anyway. But when it comes to obviously the next step, so you want to
Just before we go on to that, right? One thing I want to touch on about what you just said is like, definitely has its pros and cons for sure. I think in different areas it benefits others. Like for example, I don't think I'd want a relationship right now, or like to see a woman until I get a little bit more better with like becoming less emotional. So that because ultimately like I can't be emotional and her be emotional as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she starts crying. You start crying.
No, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
though, yeah.
of
Like,
course.
but so I think it's something I definitely do need to work on. I think you know, it's not a huge priority right now, but if I can just manage it a little bit, it would be good. It's not like I'm crying every day, by the way.
Allegedly. And I think that's an important thing, and I think it's something that salespeople neglect, and it's something I've seen from coaching guys as well. Is salespeople get so focused on helping the people they speak to, they coach, but they're a fucking mess. Like, salespeople are usually crazy.
Yeah.
One way or another. They're not right in the head.
Yeah.
And for me, anyway, what I found is now, compared to even a year, 2 years ago, I'm wildly different. And the actions I take, and also just the way I am, the way I think about things, is completely different.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm now in the position I am.
Yeah.
Because the version of me a year, 2 years ago would have fucking crumbled straight away with the stuff I've got going on now, the pressure, the money. It would have killed me. And I think you'd agree with that too, because even from when I met you, right? Like, you were very different when I met you.
Yeah, big time.
And I was very different when you met me.
Big time.
And I don't feel like either of us would be in the position we are now if we stayed the same.
Oh yeah, 100%. What do you think was the biggest turning point that got you from like not even just like not like financially or anything, but like from the person that you were a year and a half, 2 years ago to like the person that you are now?
I don't know, to be honest. Is the one thing is when you get to, I'm going to use the word when you get to my level. Please don't clip that and leave hate comments. But when you get to my level of where I'm at, it's never going to be drastic changes anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just going to get on a closing call. Some guy's going to shift your belief. It's gradual things that happen. And it's about, like, now, like when I first started, all I cared about was Jordan Davidson. It's my only care in the world was how the fuck is Jordan Davidson going to be successful? But like the guys that I work with now, like, I pay them as much as I possibly can every month. Like, I don't even care if I make money. As long as I'm on the bread line, I'm eating the pasta with sometimes pasta sauce. Like, I'm happy with that. And I care a lot more about the guys that I work with, getting paid, getting bonuses, making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a huge growth in myself, is now, like, I know what I'm capable of, and I have the trust in myself to know that I can do it over a long period.
Yeah.
Whereas before, and I still sometimes get this, so maybe I'm still going through this belief shift, but I still sometimes believe that this is all going to come crashing down. I'll be back in car sales.
Wow.
Like, I still think that sometimes.
Wow.
And that's obviously a negative thing to think.
Yeah.
But I do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just stems from, like, I've always been very real. And it's not so much that I think it's going to happen. I know it could happen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Just before I touch on that, you mentioned a couple of seconds ago that like at the start you were always like, how can Jordan Davidson win? How can Jordan Davidson win? But when I was starting off, you weren't really like in the high ticket sales space for a while, like a long time, right? But you helped me a ton for pretty much like for nothing.
Well, I would say so. Maybe that's the wrong word, right? I wasn't like fuck everybody else. It's all about Jordan Davidson. It was like I'm very like I like to help people, right? Like I'm very as much as I pretend to be a cold hearted bastard. I'm actually all right, and I'll always help people for the right reasons because I want to. But for me, like the mission and the money, like because when I was training with you, right, I was getting value. Like I was getting better because I was teaching you,
Mm.
right? And I also really liked you, so I wanted to help you because you're one of my boys. But at the same time, like, see, when I work with people, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Okay.
if I'm in sales, like, if we're on the same sales team, like, I'd never be on the same sales team as one of my friends because you wouldn't like me.
Okay.
You wouldn't like working with me because I'd be fucking you all the time. It wouldn't be fun.
Yeah.
And that version of me is one that can't exist with what I do now. Because, like, when you run a business, I can't be that guy.
No.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that's where it's changed. I've always had the aspect of helping people and, you know, looking out for guys. But it's more so like when I'm in business, I'm able to not just be like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
It's me and I only matter.
Yeah.
I'm able to now look at the bigger picture and say, I should pay this guy slightly more, even if it means I make less.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I'd say I've changed.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. And you know that thought that you have, right? That like one day maybe like everything is gonna come crashing down. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. How do you, number one, deal with it, but also number two, how do you think that it like affects, or how does it affect like your day to day?
Number one, I don't think it really does.
No?
Like, I don't think it really affects me in any way. Like, I think it's just something that I know exists.
Okay.
And the other thing for me too is like I have a very different background to a lot of the guys in high ticket. I was fucking cushy as before I came in. Like I was making good money.
Yeah.
I was chilling. Like if I'd gone back to that, I'm still blessed. Like
Yeah.
if I lived that life the rest of my life, I'd been okay. I would have worked my way up in the company. I would have like achieved great things. I would have had a nice house, nice car, whatever I want. And so I don't really fear. Like I don't fear going back. But I fear the version of me that was there.
Okay.
So I'm not running away from my situation. I'm running away from the version of me that existed at that time. And secondly, what was the second question? Sorry.
How do you deal with it?
I don't.
No?
Nah, it's one of my worst traits. I kind of just let it exist.
Really?
Because so the way I look at beliefs and stuff is like, on the day to day, does it mean I make less money and it holds me back? And if it doesn't, I don't feel like it's high enough leverage to deal with.
Yeah. You know what? It's a good point because I feel the exact same when we're talking about like the emotional side.
Yeah.
100%.
Because like the amount of time it takes you to fix that.
Yeah.
Like the ROI right now isn't going to be there.
No.
Maybe when I'm like multi-million a month, I should probably stop believing that I'm going to go back to car sales.
Yeah.
But at this point, it doesn't hamper me enough to dedicate the hours it would take to fix it.
Yeah. 100%. What drives you then? Because like even now at the point that you're at in life, like you work hard, bro. Like you work. I remember I rang you one night like 3 a.m. You're like still at the laptop.
Yeah,
What
of
the
course.
fuck? Like what? Even getting to like the point, because I know it's for me, man. Like the reason why I like it worked out in Spain was because like what I was running away from was having to go back home and have that embarrassment and ultimately have to go back to the factory, right?
Yeah,
That's what drove me, like the thing that I was running away from. And I think that this is something that I struggle with, like even now at times, is like because I don't want to say like I'm comfortable, but I'm comfortable, right? Like I'm not struggling, right?
You are comfortable.
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel like the biggest thing that drove me back then was like, shit, if I don't do this work,
So
I'm fucked.
yeah, and this is I want to talk about this a lot because I had a great one-to-one with Josh Darks about this exact thing, and it changed a lot of the way he thinks. But to answer what drives you is, I just want to win. I just look at life as a competition. I just want to win. Whatever I do, I just want to win.
Nice.
Like, I genuinely believe in life. If the meaning of life, in my opinion, is to be remembered. Nobody remembers who loses.
Yeah.
You have to win. If you don't win, nobody, like, who came second in the 100 meters when Usain Bolt broke the world record?
No idea.
Fucking not a clue. Not a fucking clue, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that to be held at a standard, you need to win. And for me, that's so valuable. And I place a lot of emphasis on the achievements that I have.
Hmm.
The only way to achieve half of the things I want to achieve in my life, I need to fucking win.
Okay.
The only way to win is to work hard.
Yeah.
Nobody that ever wins doesn't deserve to win, in my opinion, because you wouldn't fucking be there.
Hmm.
And like maybe the guy who you don't want to win wins. Maybe the guy that you don't like, he's doing super well. Maybe even me. Maybe some of the guys who don't like me are watching this going, I fucking hate that guy. But at the end of the day, I did the work, did what it took, and I
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
And you always win if you do what's needed.
What's behind that? Is that the fact that you want to be remembered, or like what's
Yeah,
actually
that's
behind
it.
that?
I want
That's
to be.
it?
I want to be great. Like I genuinely believe that we have one life. It'd be like if you
Yeah.
bought a game, right? If you bought a game and they said you got one go at this, and you got halfway through the game and you went, it's all right, I'll put that away. You'd fucking finish the game.
Wow.
You'd see how many levels you can get to.
Wow.
You'd see what armor you can get, what fucking car you can buy. Like if it was GTA, you'd fucking sit there all day and make as much money to buy the fucking jet, everything. But people look at life as if they've got multiple opportunities to play the game.
Hmm.
But you only get one option. So
Wow.
why wouldn't you play the game to win? It doesn't make any sense. And what you talked about is what happens to people when they first get successful. Is in life, there's one of two things that drive you. It's your purpose why, or it's the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in Spain, and even maybe now, it's the fear of where you came from or the fear of failure but fear only gets you so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's very hard to be scared when you're in a £1 million house, you got 6 mil in the bank, you got a Rolex, you got an Aston, you got all of this. What are you scared of? Nothing. So why are you going to work hard? When I've got all that, I haven't won yet. So I'm still going because I still have more levels to beat. And the biggest thing with success is indicative of your win. Of your why, sorry. The bigger your why is, the more likely you are to work for it. The more clearer you are on your why, the more likely you are to fucking go and get it. But if you're just existing to not work in the factory, that's very easy. You could have stopped 6 months ago and just chilled on and off or made 10K a month till you're 50.
Yeah.
But now you have that fear of failing, which to you, failing is not reaching a certain level. But when you reach that level, what do you do then?
Yeah. That's a really interesting point because I feel like that's what I've been relying on to like drive me over the last year, like even, and it's probably why I still haven't reached I don't think we're ever going to reach the point where we want to be because it's like,
mine doesn't exist.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, right? But what I'm getting at is I feel like over the last year I've been drove by fear, but like I feel like over the last, even this year, there's been no fear there, but I've been trying to like dig it up out of nowhere, and like I still work hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm up till 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, you're a
sometimes.
disciplined guy, though.
Yeah,
always
I'm disciplined 100%. But I feel like what I've been struggling with is like trying to understand like what that one thing is that like is why I'm doing it. And my reason why is my little brother, right? He's 4 years old. My little brother. He's my reason why I want to give him the best possible life, give him the best opportunities that I never had. But the thing that I struggle with is because he's 4. It's like I feel like in the front of my mind it's such a strong why, but in the back of my mind I've got loads of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the interesting thing with that, and I don't want to shit on your why, right?
Yeah.
And that's not my intent, because I'm just a greedy fucker, right? But when you place your why onto someone else, we start to make excuses.
Okay.
Right? And there's you can't hold them accountable. Like you can't say and go to your brother, fucking grow up faster. Like why are you only 4 for? Like I need a why, son, right? Whereas like with me, I'm like, I want to win. Let's say I did nothing today. Wake up tomorrow, I'd look at myself in the mirror and I go, do you actually want to win? Like, you're fucking losing. What are you doing? And, like, that's an uncomfortable conversation. And it places all the blame on you.
Wow.
Which forces you to hold yourself accountable.
Wow.
And it's why when you look at people's whys, and I ask this to everybody I work with, I say, what is your why? And they say, oh, I want to have a nice house. I want to have this. I go, well, what do you do once you have that house? I want a better house. Yeah, but, like, when you're in a 6-bed and you got a pool outside, you're like, oh, I'd love a 10-bed. Okay, it's going to take 14-hour days for the next year. Maybe 6 beds is okay. Right? But when you want to win, like, it doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the other thing with my why, and I feel like it's the sole driver behind my success, it doesn't actually exist. Like, it's in my head.
Yeah.
Like, there's people watching this right now that if I was to break down my life, the situation I'm in, the things I have, the people I know, the friends I have, they'd go, he's won. But to me, I'm down 6-0. Like, I'm fucking far away. And and exactly what's happening to you, right, with your little brother is like, I know how much you care about your little brother, right, and how important that is to you.
Yeah.
But right now, he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't need
doesn't.
driving lessons, anything.
Nah.
Like, he's happy as Larry with his dinosaur toys, right? Like, you could be working in Toys R Us and he'd be happy. And that's why it's so hard to get that drive and get that work, because everybody says it to me. Like, I've been working hard. The past 5 years, I've probably taken a total of 2 weeks off.
Wow.
Like, when I was in car sales, I was working 8 a.m., 8 p.m. I worked every day for 6 months straight. Because I just want to win. I always want to win. And it just doesn't end. And finding that why for you, and it's not going to be that you want to win. I mean, we all can't win, right? And there'll be something there that actually drives you.
Okay. So you're basically saying like that your why needs to be something that's like not like a tangible, in a sense, like a house, a car.
That's a goal. That's a
Okay.
goal. That's not your why.
Yeah. Okay.
Because then the question is, right, let's say you get that thing. Like, let's say your why was to have a nice car, and then I came along and I blew up your car. You just kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, say if you came to me and you took away my ability to move, to speak, I'd want to die, because I know I can't win at that point.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you're taking my why away from me. But, like, if it's a car, you just buy another one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can't be your why.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's really interesting. I think that even now, like, I think a lot of people think that me, you, and all the people that they see online that are doing well, like, have it all figured out. But we fucking don't. We fucking don't.
I maybe do.
not everything though.
They don't.
Not everything.
And that brings us back to the social media point. And I know this for a fact, right? A lot of these guys on social media ain't got anywhere near the money they say they do.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the fucking accolades they say they do.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, a lot of it is just fugazi.
Yes. Absolutely. That's why I took screenshots.
That's why I faked a bunch of screenshots.
But that's it though. That's the commonest that I'll get. Oh, it's photoshopped and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
But the thing that stems from is because people actually do that shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the only thing that tells you what is actually real and what's not is the consistency.
Yeah.
Like, anybody can hit a 10K a month.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that.
Yeah.
I could chuck my nan on an offer, she could hit 10K a month, and she's dead, right? Like, if I just gave her Webby leads, she could hit 10K. But the guys who can hit 10K 6, 7, 8, 9 months in a row, jumping from offer to offer, those guys are fucking good. And it's not about the money. Because I know guys who make 35K a month, 40K a month, who are worse than some clothes I know making 5, 6K a month.
I agree.
But it's the consistency that is impressive.
Yeah.
It's not the one-off.
Yeah. Do you think anybody can do sales?
Nah, not at all.
I agree.
Sales is one of the only jobs in the world where you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's so painfully obvious.
Yeah. You just said though you think anybody could hit 10K a month.
Huh?
You just said though anybody can hit 10K.
It doesn't mean they're good at sales.
Okay. Fair.
I could drive an F1 car around a track. Doesn't mean I'm an F1 driver.
Yeah.
I'm going 1 mile an hour.
So you think there are some people who aren't cut out for sales, but still do it, and I can still make 10K a month?
There's guys I know making 20K a month that shouldn't be in sales.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you say they shouldn't be?
They just don't understand it.
Yeah.
They're just in sales, but they're on an offer where when I'm talking about sales, right, is they don't understand sales and they don't actually know what they're doing. Like, they don't understand any of it.
Okay.
All they're doing is, I describe them as a factory worker. It's like, say I manage them and I go, here's your framework, here's your objections. And they're just, so what brought you to the call? Like, they're just,
okay.
It's not them.
Yeah.
Like, sales is you.
Yeah.
What sales is an authentic conversation between two people, and the real person should be obvious of both of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's why we call out limiting beliefs and what people say, is because they're not being authentic.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to be yourself in sales, you're not being authentic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you shouldn't be in sales.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I always knew that there are people who are making like 5, 6K a month that should be making like 30, and there are people that are making like 30K a month that should only be making like 5, 6. But how you describe that factory workers, really, really interesting.
But
Really
that's what it
interesting,
is. And
yeah.
if you take those guys and even like for another great example, right, that proves we can sell is like we left offers with marketing, with everything, with social proof, and we went and sold ourselves, not as prostitutes, but we went and sold ourselves, right? And you went to offers and you said you pitched them and you said you need to hire Kkylecooke. I went and did the exact same thing when I started my agency. And it's if you're able to do that, I believe that you're good at sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the one thing that you can't like bullshit or lie is yourself.
Mm.
And especially when you're selling yourself to somebody.
Yeah.
It's painfully obvious if you're selling a load of shit or if you're
Yeah.
actually being honest and transparent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there in sales who just couldn't do it.
Mm.
And in my opinion, they should not be in sales.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's
Wow.
a lot of guys selling sales training.
Yeah.
That if it were to come to being in actual sales, because if you're a high ticket closer, you're not a salesperson 9 times out of 10, because high ticket closing is a complete easy cakewalk in sales. If you were to actually go sell anything, sell cars, sell windows, fucking dead in the water. Dead in the water. Because you need to authentically be a human. You need to be able to have a relationship.
Yeah.
Is 90% of closers are just mindless robots. They've learned. How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
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 What's behind you saying that?
Yeah.
Can I give you a different perspective? But you try and sell somebody a set of windows.
Mm.
They don't like. How much would you pay for a set of windows?
I don't know what they usually cost. Maybe like
How much would you guess?
for like one window.
Like one window.
One window. 75, 80 euro?
75, 80 euro. You sell them for $2,000 a window.
No way.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Imagine trying to convince somebody that. What's your ROI? What's your guarantee?
Yeah. That's
None.
crazy.
You just like me. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And that's what
really
sales
cool.
actually is.
Yeah.
And people look at it as this objection handling, like limiting belief shifting fugazi. That's not what it is.
Mm.
Sales is all about relationships.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people miss out on is the authenticness of being in sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you think of a salesperson, what do you think of? You think of someone who's charismatic, they're funny, they're able to brighten up a room.
Yep.
Not a guy sitting there like Jeremy Minor with a mic. How does that make you feel, Kyle?
Yeah. And I noticed that as well with my own calls. Is like when I'm going into the sales call, being like, okay, I'm gonna go close this guy. I'm gonna reframe everything, and I'm just gonna kill him. I don't do nearly as well as when I just go in, and I have that fucking confidence and aura that it just like the person just likes you, but in a sense, I don't think they should like you too much to the point where they're like, okay, fuck, like I respect this guy. Like this guy's right. He's in the position I want to be in, and then they'll pay.
I think it's a fine line, right? But
Yeah.
I also don't believe that they can't. There's no point where they can like you too much. Because like think about the person you most like in life, right? Like let's use Theo as an example. Theo came to you with a business idea and it made sense. It's gonna be so much like he's piffing you 10 out of 10 times.
That's
right?
true. That's
because
true.
you like him so much.
Yeah.
Like there's this myth going around that you shouldn't be their friend. Disagree.
Do you
Yeah.
really?
Like every one of my friends, if I went to them right now and I pitch her, I could probably close them so easily because they're my friend.
Yeah.
Because what does friend mean? It means that they trust them. It means that they trust you, right? And that's what half of closing is. Is I do genuinely believe in the Belfort straight line theory. Not as webinar, that's for sure, but the straight line theory, I definitely believe in that. They need to either trust you, the company, or the product. And the easiest one to get is get them to trust you.
Okay. It's really interesting. Yeah. I always thought that there was like a fine line there, and I've had no issues with selling, but maybe I could have sold a bit more. One thing I wanted to ask you as well, because like your why, right, is because you want to win. Okay. I'm sure that there was something else that made you create like Just Do Sales, not just about like yourself, right? Why did you create Just Do Sales? Because I'll be honest, right, I'm not saying this to lick your hole or anything, right? But you're one of the guys, like one of the very few guys that are selling sales training mentorships that I truly feel like is actually reputable enough to the point where like you can do it and you can do it very well. There are a lot of other sales training communities out there that the offer owners just haven't really sold for that long, and then
Or not even at all.
yeah, exactly. So, but I think that you're one of those guys who've done it like long enough to a point where like it's valid, you know?
For me, it wasn't really well, it's a means to an end, right? To be honest, like info isn't my long term. Like you're never winning. I'm not gonna be competing with the guys at Barclays Bank or fucking Palander running an info product. No offense to the info gurus, but I'm not doing billions in info. I just don't believe it's possible. So it's a means to an end. And the other thing for me too is I'm just really good at it.
Mm.
And what I can give people, because I don't need the money. Like that's why we're low ticket, is because I don't care about the money at all. It means nothing. But the fulfillment I get from seeing guys win is fucking awesome. Like we have the agency, that's where we make money. Like that's where we'll make shit tons of money. And for me too is longer term, I want to go into B2B sales training. That's what we're going to do next year. Selling to bigger companies like the car sales company I used to work for, stuff like that. And the more proof I can get of training people, easier it's going to be to close that.
Yeah.
So it's a means to an end, but I also, it's important to say, I feel like it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I first got into sales, like the position you were in Spain when you made it happen was pretty similar to the position I was in when I got in sales.
Okay.
Like I was in the pits of the pits of the pits. Like I was, I coined the term, but I was Kkylecooke. Like I was fucked by all like imagination. Anybody, like if you watch the movie, the Jordan Davidson movie coming soon, allegedly. No, I'm joking. If you watch the Jordan Davidson movie, you'd watch that part and you go, he's fucked.
Really?
Like there's no way he makes out of this. I had like nothing in my account, couldn't afford next month's rent, just written off my car. I was being chased by the police for fucking driving without a license, without insurance. I owed everybody money. I was just in the bin.
Yeah. Wow.
And I went on Indeed. I was like, what do I do? And there's a fucking selling Windays. And it said, weekly wage, £250 to 10K. I went, just make 10K a week then. I just saw that. I was like, fucking mint. I'll just make 10K a week then. And I was that deluded. Yeah. I was like, well, that's that solved then. I applied for this job. And I remember vividly, it's one of my most vivid memories in life, is I went to the interview, day before the interview, watched Wolf of Wall Street. Only sales training I ever had was watching that. I was like, fucking, I'm sound. I got this now. I went there. Well, actually, before I went there, I phoned my mum and I said, what do I wear to a sales interview? And she went, a sales job? What if you don't sell anything? I was like, well, I'll just sell something then. And she was like, if you take that, I won't speak to you. Ever, like, I won't speak to you. And I was like, oh, don't worry, I won't even go. So I went to the interview anyway. And I'm sitting in the room outside of the interview. There's like 20 people. And they're all in like suits and ties and everything. I just had my shirt on. I couldn't afford my suit.
Really?
Like it was at least like
a
shirt, I had a tie on. I wasn't that much in the pits.
Yeah.
And I went in and the guy's like, why do you want the job? I was like, be honest, mate, I'm fucked. He was like, why do you want the job? I was like, I need the money. And he was like, great. And he said something to me at that point that I didn't understand then, but I get now. He said to me, the only salespeople I hire are people that need the money. Wow. Like the greatest salespeople are usually people who are in the pits. So he said all of his sales team were either addicted to gambling, drugs, or alcohol. Because they had to find a way to make it happen every day. Yeah. And I was like, well, I'm a lot further in the pits than those guys. Yeah. They're at least having some fun, Yeah. I'm not there yet. So I went in the interview and he said to me, he was like, do you know how to handle an objection? I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, don't know what that means. And so I was honest with him. I got no sales experience, but I'm very confident. I can chat shit, so I'll be fine. And he said to me, okay, we're sitting down, you're selling me a window, you give me the price, and I say, I need to think about it. What do you say? And I said, why do you need to think about it? And he said, you're hired.
No way.
Yeah, he was like, you're hired. I was like, why? He's like, because straight away your head thought to clarify why their objection. Like, it wasn't like, oh, we have the best windows. I was like, well, that'd be fucking stupid. I don't know, like, why he's objecting.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that's why you're hired.
Wow.
And
wow.
I started there and it went okay. Like, I definitely wasn't making 10K a week. Tell you that for free. That was my first experience of 100K a month OTE. I got absolutely diddled there. But, like, it was an amazing opportunity. I learned a ton. And, like, my first experience of sales, right, is imagine I've just come into your kitchen. You've put an inquiry in for a free window thing, right? Now I'm sat in your gaff. I'm sat here with you. You have a cup of tea. I have a cup of tea. And I'm like, all right, Kyle. So for those 4 windows, $7,000. And I just don't leave your house.
Yeah.
I was in houses for like hours.
Wow.
I remember there was once I spent 4 hours in a guy's house. I had like 20 cups of tea. And they said to me like, all right, man, we're away to have dinner. See you later. I was like, what are you making? And they're like, lasagna. I was like, can I have some?
No way.
Sitting at their dinner table with them eating. Fucking trying to sell them a set of windows.
Wow.
But like when you do that, like high ticket is a fucking piece of piss.
Yeah. Did you sell them?
Nah, they didn't have the money. They probably did. They probably probably drank their whole house dry of tea. But there was like so many occasions like that. And I think now, obviously, a lot of the reason that people come to me is because of my objection handling. Like when you can sit in some guy's house for 4.5 hours and objection handle on his sofa in his house.
Yeah.
Doing it on Zoom ain't nothing, right?
Yeah.
And to tie that all back together, I feel like in sales, you need to have that moment of, I really need to make this work.
Yeah.
Because if you never do, you just never will.
No. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I think that if I look at the sales reps that I manage, the ones that are doing the best right now are the ones that have something that like they if they don't make a certain amount of money this month, like they can't make rent. Or like they can't go book another Airbnb. How does somebody get that? If they're in a position right now where let's just say somebody's been working, they saved up 10, 15 grand. They left just to go all in on high ticket sales. Not really making any money from high ticket sales yet. How do you get that like, fuck, like I need to put the work in right now?
Well, you keep going till you run out of money.
Yeah.
Then you start to run out of money.
Mm.
And then it's like, oh, I got 10K in the bank. 6 months later, I got 1K in the bank. Still not making any money this high ticket thing. It's like the next month you spent your 1K. What you got to do? You got to make it fucking work.
So you're saying go broke?
Yeah, basically. I do believe in some essence you need to go broke to get rich.
Yeah.
I've never met anybody who's rich except with the handful of people I know who've had money since birth, right? Like guys like me and like you, we need to go broke to go rich.
Yeah.
Because another thing too is like I came from a better background than you, of course. I definitely didn't come from the slums of the slums, right? Not that you did either, but like I was incredibly blessed to have a good upbringing.
Yeah.
You know, my parents were stable, they both had jobs, pretty middle class, I would say. But my relationship with money, like nobody taught me what to do with money.
Yes.
And
Exact same.
when I started making money in car sales, and I'll never forget it. I got my November bonus, most money I'd ever made. I made £13,000 in a month in car sales. And anybody in car sales knows how fucking insane that was.
Yeah.
That'll show you how good I was. And I remember it got to the 17th of November. I sat there in my living room. I think I ordered a delivery. My card declined.
No.
Went in my bank. It's fucking nothing in there. And I was sitting there going, where the fuck's it all gone?
Yeah.
And I like looked through and it was just the most ridiculous. Like I didn't even like have anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I bought a watch. I don't even know where it went.
Wow.
To this day, I don't know where it went. It just like evaporated.
Wow.
And even now, I'm still horrible for it.
Okay.
Like what day is it? 17th? 18th? It's the 18th.
Yeah.
Like we were looking at this earlier. I've spent £24,000 this month.
Fuck.
Last month it was 28.
Wow.
Like it hasn't got any better. I'm just at the point of earning outside of that.
Yeah.
And the one thing, and I really want to emphasize this, is if you're getting into sales and you start making money, is get somebody to teach you how to be financially responsible.
I agree. 100%.
Because you end up in a loop of always chasing it. And it's why if you go to any traditional sales job, the guys I was working with were like 40, 50, 60. They're still coming in on their day off. Why is that? Because they just fucking spend all their money.
Yeah.
And the most important skill in sales is not to look at sales as a forever thing. Like, you don't want to be closing when you're 50. No. I don't want to be closing when I'm 50.
Not at all.
But I want to have the money to leap over everything else and get to where I want to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that financial responsibility is such a hard thing if you never had money.
Yeah.
Like,
I 100% agree. And it's something that I've actually been thinking about, like, recently, is getting somebody to, like, keep me accountable.
I'll do it for you.
Like, yeah, not you anyway. But like, touching on money, actually, is something that I wanted to talk about as well, because a lot of people getting into sales, they think that it's all 10K, 15K months like every single month, right? And it's far, far from the truth. I remember obviously like last November, I made like 19.3K, right? And then December, January was like over 15, 16K. And in February, fucking 2K.
Yeah, and I think this is, and it's very, the reason that I don't feel people talk about it is because as a guru and as somebody who, like, especially in my position, like when I tell people, and I tell my students all the time, my best ever month did 36K, right? Next month, you know how much I made? 3.5K.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't be posting that on Instagram. People think you did 3.5K in a month. You must be shite. But it's not that.
No.
Like the reason mine went down so much, I got diddled by an offer. I got told you make a shit ton of money.
Same. Exact same.
Went there, and it wasn't what I expected, and I ended up just staying there until I left close.
Yeah.
But for me, it was such a huge
100%,
change
yes.
that I wasn't prepared for.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely believed, like, once I made 10K, I was based on a salary.
Yeah.
I was like, made 10K, this would be every month.
I thought so as well. It was the exact same. I got promised the world. And then I made like 50 grand in 3 months. And going into this, make more. Like 50 grand a month. But made 2 and like, bro, like when February ended and I got that paycheck after seeing, 15 to 20K hit my bank account 3 months in a row, and then to see like 2, I was like, oh bro, it was crazy. And I think in the time I was struggling, like during February, like it was a really, really difficult month because you think about it, right? 3 months in a row making insane money, and then the next month, like you make less than what you used to make in a factory. And I thought that was it. I thought, oh, I'm not going to be making more than this now anymore. I have to go back to the factory. But I think that was such a pivotal time, and I feel like that like needed to happen for me to like get back down to earth, because I was up in the clouds, bro. I'll be honest.
It's very important because it makes you realize you're not invincible.
Yes, definitely.
And it's the same with football, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with all sport. Is you get to a point where you believe you're invincible.
Yeah.
And then that's when it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
The second you believe you can't lose is when you probably will lose, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about one thing which I find very interesting is the transformation you've seen in your life outside of sales because of sales. And I'm not talking about the money.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the way you are, the way it could be women, it could be just general people. Like, what sort of a difference have you seen?
Yeah. I feel like how I even talk, how I walk, how I communicate is very different. If you, I don't know if you can remember, maybe like a year and a half ago when I started off in sales, I was like, well, bye. How are you, Jordan?
I do actually. I was gonna.
What's the crack?
I'll play a little clip now from our first ever role play. I found the Fathom.
Swear, bro. Fuck's sake, yeah. I know what you. I'm the same. Like I could be really energized right then and go on my phone for like half an hour. Then I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I have no energy now.
I was watching that back, and even it's funny you say that, right? Because this is my biggest hate comment is people say, "What the fuck's his accent?"
Yeah.
And now my accent's toast.
Yeah.
But like in our first role plays, it was like going up the local farm in Scotland and Ireland and speaking to the farmer. Oh, yeah, right, man. What you saying, guys? Can?
Yeah.
And like that was okay because we weren't speaking to that many people.
Yeah.
Whereas now we've had to change the way we are in general.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
The other question I'd have is obviously you change the way you talk, communicate, walk, whatever, right? Because it gives you that confidence.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the money, right? So now you're making money. I mean, you're making good money, right? How has that changed you, do you think? Because money changes everybody.
Yeah. It's a really good question. I think it's changed me in a sense of how I view the world. It's not really in me though. How's it changed me though?
Do you know how I think it's changed you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because the reason I asked that, and I was hoping you'd say it, is the version of you, well, not the version, the Kkylecooke that I met when I first met you, right, was very unwilling to cut off people or do something for him. Whereas now, I feel like you're at a point where you can actually do that yourself.
Yeah.
And you're able to say, okay, listen, it's Kkylecooke that matters.
Do you know what? Now that you said it, I totally agree. Yeah, I think I do think a lot more about myself now. a lot more now than even I did like 3 or 4 months ago, I think.
I'd
Um,
agree. And
yeah.
what do you feel like that is? Because I'd say it's that you value yourself more now.
Yes, I think it is that, but I think it's also what's made me realize that is everybody in sales, obviously people want to help, but a lot of people want to help because it benefits them. And that's something that I realized was I was being helped, but only when it was benefiting them and putting money in their
Yeah, there was
pocket.
always a limit.
Yes,
It
exactly.
was like, okay, yeah, that's great. Whoa, Kyle.
Yeah, 100%, exactly. And it's like everybody's out here to make their own money.
Mm.
So why the fuck aren't I doing it? And then when I did that, guess what? More management opportunities came in. I'm now making more money. It's like, I wish I'd done it a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, that wraps us up. But I just want to say thank you for coming on. Obviously, first ever episode, Just Do Sit with Jordan Davidson podcast.
Yeah. Don't subscribe.
Who's next? Who should we have on next? You can pick anybody on the planet and we'll go find him.
Love.